And then the other big headline, of course, is President Xi's visit to Vietnam. That's actually the main focus of the People's Daily today as well. The paper has devoted its entire front page, plus 2 more pages, to photos and articles on the trip, where Xi's called for building a, quote, China-Vietnam community with a shared future. She also urged Vietnam to join China in opposing what he calls unilateral bullying. Our Chief North Asia correspondent, Stephen Engler, is with us. And Steve, I mean, Xi is clearly seeing some sort of diplomatic opening here.
And economic.
Sure, go through it then.
Yeah, so they had signed 45 deals. A lot of it has to do with connectivity, through railways and connectivity across the border. Keep in mind, that border between Vietnam and China has been fraught over the decades with border skirmishes. They have different railway gauges, so they didn't really have a lot of connectivity. So Xi Jinping clearly sees an opportunity here. Vietnam, for its part, is saying it will speed up the development of 3 planned railways near and across the border with China. So surely Xi sees this as an opportunity with the Trump administration, at least in the early going of Liberation Day, on that, that chart on the lawn of the White House, slapping 46% tariffs, which of course have now been whittled down to 10% while we wait this 90% pause. But still, Vietnam was 46%, Malaysia was 24%, Cambodia was 49%. So Xi Jinping, those are the 3 countries that he's going to be going to this week, Malaysia later today, and then Cambodia, sees an opportunity here to further Belt and Road diplomacy, railroad diplomacy, as it's been called. We know in Malaysia they're building the East Coast rail link that has been long delayed and also fraught with allegations of corruption. I won't go there now, but again, also in Indonesia, they're building a high-speed rail in Indonesia. So he sees this opportunity to kind of, as you said, get a coalition together of like-minded Asian nations to resist unilateral bullying from the United States.
One thing that I'm interested in as well is the push that he's making is sort of to resist any sort of moves toward protectionism. But protectionism has been a sort of major feature of the Chinese economy. I mean, is there going to be any sort of pushback on Beijing's call?
Well, sure. Not on the front page of the People's Daily.
No, let's
let's say the narrative is clearly being orchestrated from state media. So that's on the one hand, okay? But keep in mind, Vietnam, I talked about the border skirmishes. They have definitely diplomatic differences in the South China Sea. But Vietnam economy is so reliant on the Chinese economy and was a great beneficiary of the first Trump trade war because, again, China +1. You saw many, not just Chinese companies, but multinational companies, whether it's Foxconn as well as Luxshare Precision. They moved large operations from southern China across the border into large industrial parks in northern Vietnam, and they benefited of that. That's why the Trump administration is targeting that. So it's a tricky balancing act for the Vietnamese. They want to continue, and they're already engaging in talks, trying to engage in talks to mitigate the tariff damage from the United States. But at the same time, they're so reliant on raw materials and parts from the Chinese. So it'll be very interesting to see what kind of diplomatic deliverables Xi Jinping is going to get in addition to those 45 deals. Malaysia is a similar thing as Vietnam. Cambodia, that's the safest harbor that Xi Jinping will be going to. There's massive codependence on the economy there. Cambodia has welcomed Chinese investment, whether it's the new international airport in Phnom Penh. Also, they're building this large canal to link the main waterway of the Mekong down south to the Gulf of Thailand to bypass ports in Vietnam. Chinese are building that as well. So that's going to be the last stop. That's a friendly, safe harbor.
Steve, thank you so much. Stephen Engel, our North Asia correspondent there, on What to Watch.